here with Lizzie. Now, strokes, not a happy topic, but it's something that we need to talk about because they are they seem to be on the rise around the globe. But actually, the good news is that up to 80% of all strokes could be avoided if we knew our own risk factors and controlled them appropriately. The NZ Stroke Education Trust, in collaboration with AUT, has developed an internationally endorsed free-to-use stroke riskometer app. And this is the kind of app you want to have on your phone. But not only that, they've also developed, for the likes of you and me, their world's first free video guide, Stroke Prevention and Recovery. And that is all the information's available via their website, stroke.net.nz. Now, to speak with us on the show today, one of the people behind developing this amazing tools is Professor Valery Feigin, Director of AUT's National Institute for Stroke and Applied Neuroscience, commonly known as NISAN. Professor Feigin, welcome to the program. Great to have you here.
Good morning, Lizzie. It's my pleasure.
First of all, this is a wonderful thing that you and your team have done to develop these resources for everyday people. Did it take quite a while to do that?
Yes, we started our work about 10 years ago, and it was a bumpy process, not easy to convince people that that's something that would be useful for them to use. But we eventually got it there, and this year we were given New Zealand Prime Minister Science Prize for all our work in stroke prevention and epidemiology.
That's wonderful, because often things like this, people might think, I'll go to the doctor, but you're actually putting the power back in our hands, Valery.
Exactly. People need to be in full charge of their health. And I must admit from the beginning, there is no magic bullet kind of pill or whatever, simple.
Yeah, no magic pill.
Everything needs efforts from the individual, but once they are motivated and know what to do and how to do, most people will succeed and avoid stroke.
Yeah, well, it's empowering to take your health into your own hands, right?
Exactly.
We've only got one life, haven't we? So we want to make the most of it. So I wanted to talk to you this morning about, tell us, what are some of the risk factors for getting a stroke?
There are over 200 risk factors.
The top ones then.
For stroke, yes. But the most important ones are elevated blood pressure. And elevated blood pressure is considered as blood pressure of 120 and over, systolic blood pressure, so the upper level of measurement of blood pressure, poor diet, low physical activity, excessive body weight, all these risk factors are kind of common to not only stroke, but other non-communicable disorders.
Sure. So as an individual, what are the warning signs if you were getting a stroke? How would you feel?
There are several quite typical warning signs of stroke. We call them TIA, and the acronym for them is FAST. Face, drooping one side of the face, sudden onset drooping, articulation problem. People cannot talk, they have slurred speech, or they cannot understand the speech of others. Weakness in one part of the body, usually arm or leg on one side, and all of these symptoms need to come up suddenly. That's most characteristic of stroke.
Yeah, the acronym FAST is really good, isn't it? That's a good one to remember.
Yes, FAST is the common acronym used for that. And of course, any of these symptoms come up, people need not wait. They need to call ambulance right away, even if they are in doubt whether it is stroke related or not.
Because the reality with strokes, the quicker you get the treatment, the better the outcome. Is that right?
Exactly. Now we have really effective treatment for stroke. And with that treatment, if you come to the hospital within the first few hours of stroke onset, you have a really good chance. 3 of 7 people who are admitted early on could have recovered from stroke completely.
Oh, that's amazing. So quickly tell us about this app, the Stroke Risk-O-Meter app. How does that work?
So it is a simple kind of self-screening tool to estimate the risk of having a stroke in the next 5 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. People just need to answer to the best of their knowledge some 20 questions, like age, their sex, their physical activity, their blood pressure, if they know their blood pressure, their body weight, height, and then they get results, whether they have increased level of risk or not, and what the risk is. And most importantly, they will have a list of all risk factors they have for stroke and other acute cardiovascular events. And also, very importantly, they will have recommendations how to control their specific risk factors and monitor the effect of that implementation of those recommendations.
Valery, do you think it's useful to have a blood pressure machine at home? Would you recommend that?
Yeah, I think nowadays every family has to have a blood pressure measuring machine because it's so common risk factor. 60% of all strokes and 50% of all myocardial infarctions are due to elevated blood pressure. Okay. And it is relatively simple to control your blood pressure.
Yeah. How do you do that apart from taking drugs?
Okay, drugs can only be prescribed by a doctor.
Sure.
Obviously, but other lifestyle factors have a very important role in preventing elevated blood pressure and also reducing the blood pressure, like salt intake, avoiding processed food as much as possible, reduce bread consumption, the main source of salt in our diet.
Did you say reduce bread?
Yeah, bread accounts for 80% of all salt we consume. 80%.
I didn't know that. I feel like lots of people wouldn't know that.
Most people won't know that.
I'm glad I asked you. Now, these videos that you've created, there's lots in there for people preventative, but also for help for stroke sufferers, but also caregivers. I think I saw, was there one on there about learning how to blink again?
Yes, about eye care for severely ill patients. The problem with stroke is that unlike myocardial infarction, 60 to 70% stroke survivors have some residual, some level of disability post-event. And recovery post-stroke takes months and even years. And unfortunately, our rehabilitation services in the community cannot cope with that real big number of stroke survivors.
Yes.
Most people are basically deprived from access to effective rehabilitation services. And those video rehabilitation, self-rehabilitation tools are exactly to help those people to know how to carry out those simple rehabilitation procedures that could help them to recover to their maximum possible level.
And the people in the videos, they're stroke survivors themselves, is that right?
Yes, that's one of the advantages of that videos. All the procedures are shown by people who had a stroke or their family caregivers. It's a role model idea. If those people can do that, then I can do that.
Yes.
And there are people of different age, sex, and ethnicities who show all these procedures.
Hey, well, thank you so much for your time today, Professor Feigin. Just wonderful what you have developed here, and I'm certainly going to familiarise with myself with these things and check out my own risk. And so for people listening, you want to find out more, head along to the website stroke.net.nz. Stroke.net.nz has all the information with the videos. It can direct you to the app, which is called Stroke Riskometer. Professor Valery Feigin. Sorry. And it's free.
Yeah.
Don't forget that it's
all
free. Yes, it's all free. Thank you so much for giving us your time today. Much appreciated. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to click on like, subscribe, and notifications. See you next time.